What's up, y'all? We back at it with the latest episode of My Adventures with Superman, Season 3, Episode 5. By far, my favorite episode in the entire series, man. Look, I know this is the beginning of Season 3, but this episode was amazing. Cyborg Superman was just on a whole nother level, man. And it was just so amazing. We got to talk about this episode. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for all notifications. Now, with the name of this episode being titled "The Death of Superman," I know a lot of y'all, including myself, was expecting to see a crazy ass fight to the death. But I love how this series kind of switched it up, where this episode actually was the death of Superman, but not the way we thought it to be. And I don't know, I thought that was a nice way they did it, man. That was a nice way they did it. But like I said, this show definitely give me vibes of, future Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, Cell Sagas, just how he went back in time to try to stop his family and loved ones from dying. You have the same scenario here with Superboy. He went in back in time to try to stop his father and mom from dying. Um, and you have it where everything looked like it's about to unfold the way it did in his future, because Cyborg Superman, or Hank, whatever name you want to call him by, was definitely just putting in that work against Superman. Man, he was just, and this was before he even used his trump card on him. He was just doing stuff where I was just like, yo, damn, this guy's really beating the hell out of Superman. But you have this moment here where Superman's telling Superboy, like, yo, man, go back. Me and your aunt, we got this. We're going to handle the situation. And you have it where he tells him, like, yo, Dad, this is where you die. And we got a powerful moment in this episode at the beginning. And I know I didn't show it on the screen, but we had a powerful moment where, his mom asks why he didn't tell them when he first got here what takes place, what happened in his future. And I was thinking the same thing, like, yo, that's some shit you should tell your parents right away if that's the main reason you came back from the future. But he explains it in a way where I'm like, yo, damn, I see where he coming from. He's like, yo, man, my intentions was to tell y'all, but then I came here and y'all world isn't like my world. You got laughter and people enjoying themselves, people enjoying their lives, just enjoying being around one another. There's none of that in my future. So I got a little overwhelmed by seeing all of this. Then I got to see you guys, and I was having a great time with you guys. And this is just something I've never experienced in my timeline. So I got carried away. So I get why he didn't mention it, but at the same time, I don't know how I would have handled that situation. Let me know down below how y'all would have been with it. But I thought that was pretty dope. Like, and then you have this situation where he's like, yo, he's saying like, yo, father, in my timeline, like, you died. And he says that, this battle right here is where he dies, where Superman dies. This makes me wonder, is Lois Lane pregnant right now? Just based off of this right here, like, is she pregnant right now and she's on the verge of giving birth and she just doesn't know it? But anyway, you have it where, you know, of course, I don't know why I want to keep saying Brainiac. I know it's not Brainiac, but Cyborg Superman comes and he starts beating the hell out of Superboy. And like, oh man, the way he's just throwing him around, and he finds out that that's the son of Superman. He's upset, yo. He's like, yo, you were able to have a kid and I couldn't. You were able to have a kid and I can't. You know what I'm saying? You're able to, have an offspring and I can't because I'm stuck in this metal form. And I don't know, man. The way he went off on Superboy after that was just ridiculous. And he's just beating both of them down. Like, look at this. Look at the way he's just taking them down. Superboy doesn't even stand a chance. Now, remember, he's only half Kryptonian. But then you have it where Kara shows up as well. I'm going to say this every episode. I love the fit. But you have it where they both show up and they're trying to fight against Cyborg Superman. But you also have it where he starts attacking multiple areas where Superman and them are forced to split up, where he makes a plane crash, he makes a helicopter crash, and you have it where Superboy as well as Kara have to go off and help in those areas, while Superman is left to face off against Cyborg Superman, or Hank, whichever name you want to go by. And you can see that this right here is a hell of a challenge that Superman wasn't expecting. Of course, you have it where Lois goes to confront Lex and tells Lex, like, yo, you need to, stop him. And of course, Lex doesn't really want to do it, but this is the past Lex before he realized how powerful that Hank will become. But then you have it where Hank, while facing off against Superman, he starts to use kryptonite on Superman, and as you can see, the kryptonite is doing this, it's taking its toll on him, it's really hurting him. And I really love the way they do kryptonite in this series, where it begins to spread in their bodies like a virus. It starts to grow out of their body, and I wonder if that's how they're gonna get to, like, if the series does it, if that's how they're gonna do Doomsday, because the way the crystals, the kryptonite grows out their bodies, kind of remind me of the bones of, of Doomsday. Maybe it's me just reading too much into it, but that's the vibes I'm getting from it. But of course, Superman doesn't stand a chance against Cyborg Superman, and you have it where his son is forced to step in to try to help him by attacking from afar. That's not really working. You see the kryptonite hitting him, but it's not really affecting him as quickly as it's affected Superman, because he's not 100% Kryptonian. He's 50-50. 50 Kryptonian, 50 human. And I think that's pretty dope that he has somewhat of an immunity to it. But then you have it where Kara comes to save him because he still was on the verge of dying, and you find out a little bit more about his future, because he doesn't want Kara to actually fight. And you have it where Kara's like, yo, why? And he explains another sad thing. He's like, yo, in my future, my parents die. You took me in, you raised me, you showed me how to use my powers. And then later on, you met your end. And you have it where he's like, yo, I don't want that to happen. And it was just, I don't know, it was such a sad moment right here, just seeing this right here, just seeing how he lost everything, and how Kara raised him to be the person that he is right now, that we're seeing before him. And I like seeing her like grown up, right? The long hair right here, look like they living in the woods or whatever the case may be. And then eventually she meets her end, and it looks as if she was facing off against him and died because she has the kryptonite on him. He says he doesn't want to risk that happening again. So you have it where he has this suit that's kind of supposed to be um, immune to kryptonite. He splits the suit where he takes half of it and his aunt takes the other half, and they're using that to face off against Cyborg Superman, and they're doing a good job. But of course, he's analyzing the situation and realizing why the kryptonite isn't working, and he attacks it and takes it off. But then you have it where Superman sees his family on the verge of being killed, and he does something where he uses too much of his power to like override the kryptonite that's within his body so that he can beat the enemy in front of him, which is Cyborg Superman. And I ain't gonna lie, this shit was amazing, man. It was amazing. But you have it where he actually rips out the heart of Cyborg Superman, and I imagine next time we see him, he's gonna be I can't even think of the guy's name right now, but the Metallo. That's who he's gonna be the next time we see him. But anyway, you have this right here where he shatters it, and then he's about to do like a sail where he blows himself up, but he ends up shutting down before he could. And it looks like he has a little bit of remorse for what he actually did. Now I could be wrong, but it just gives off that vibe. And then next thing you know, you have it where Superboy has to return back to the future because his device is running out of energy. And as that happens, you have it where Lois and Clark are talking, and he explains that he no longer has his powers. And that's why I said this was beautiful how they did it. The episode was titled The Death of Superman, and that's what we got, the death of Superman. But Clark Kent still remains. So I don't know. I just thought that was a clever way to do it. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the next episode. And to be honest with you, I didn't even notice this whole future part right here. I stopped watching it thinking the episode was over. I gotta check this out and see what happens. But let me know y'all thoughts on the episode down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace. This shit too good.